Game was there's an article that talks about the Game as a scammer, and saying that he's been going around or his account's been going through IG accounts sending messages saying, hey, $500, I put you on, we can collab, get you a mixtape spot, blah 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 blah. And I actually received one of those messages, and this is happening. Because he originally had reposted some stuff on the homie Fox out the Fox guy like energy. Go get that if you are on your streaming services. I actually fool with Fox, but he sent it to me and I got a $500 holla invite. And Lone made up a good point in the pre-show. He was talking about I think Fat Joe and DMX, and there's a couple other people that were floating around, with these messages coming through the inbox.
I've never heard DMX, but definitely Fat Joe.
I heard DMX and Redman.
Well, definitely Fat Joe, definitely Dave East, and definitely there was one other artist, and I don't remember who. Yeah.
I saw one floating around for DMX and also I think Redman too. But to
Benny.
me, for these guys, Benny was on there as well? Okay, I didn't know Benny. Okay, I didn't know Benny was on there. For me, thinking about this, man, from these guys that have legendary status in rap, like when y'all hear about them being a part of scams, and who knows who runs whose IG account, I'm not about to go down that rabbit hole because who knows who runs what. You're gonna have some artists that say, I don't know what the hell you talking about, and then there's probably some that know, just don't want to say it. But Lone, I'll come to you first. How does that make these people look, man? Because it look corny to me if you're reaching out to people for $500, which is as millionaires. Or does it have something to do with the pandemic? I don't know, but to me, it's not a good look. It doesn't.
It's
sit well with me.
This has been going around for a long time. It's selling clout in a specific way to artists that think that they're going to get automatically notoriety. So here's how it works. You're an up and coming artist. You're grinding. You follow somebody, right? And Fat Joe ends up texting you through a DM and says, hey, I've heard your music. I'm putting together this mixtape compilation. If you want to get on it, here's 500. It costs $500 a slot. Just send us your music. We'll get you on there. They put the mixtape out. The mixtape is typically it's got artwork of the artist on there, maybe one of their songs, maybe not, but it's put together by a completely third-party entity. So it's not even these artists that are actually really putting anything together. It's just some other quote-unquote modern-day mixtape DJ that is putting together stuff and just compiling songs and just trying to push this based on the clout of the artist. Now, when this was happening last year, some of these mixtapes that were coming out, especially like the Benny one, they were selling slots for $500-$600. Benny was on the cover, and I think the most plays that any of the songs got was 120 on SoundCloud.
Oh wow!
So you're buying a $500 slot for maybe 120 listens, maybe.
Yeah.
And it's just a scam. So Jadakiss was the other person that was a part of it too.
Oh, Kiss.
Now I don't know if these artists are fully aware of. Maybe it had great intentions. You know what I mean? Maybe they got sold on something
That's the question.
Maybe they got sold on something that was like, hey, this is the result of what we're going to do. We're going to give you this percentage of everything. But unless it's already proven and you really know this person, and they're vouched for, and the artist is legitimately going to push it as well, it's just a bad look. It's a bad look to be a part of something and to have your name attached to it for a few $1,000s, So, yeah.
I'm not mad at that. Thanks for the breakdown as well.
And it is a scam.
Jay Diff, talk to me, man. What you think when you see that? What's the first thing that comes to mind?
I can imagine being an artist and an up and coming artist, and then this popular artist that you may have listened to or looked up to is now in your inbox and finding you onto a project. That's how a lot of artists get discovered. Like, for example, 𝗏 She hopped in his inbox and was like, I like your stuff. I'm trying to mess with you. But he wasn't asking him for money. He was shooting him a plane ticket that they could sit down and talk logistics and actually work something out. It should be an automatic red flag if somebody's telling you they fuck with you. I'm putting together this compilation, and if you want to be on it, shoot me $500. You're in a position that I think that you're in, that I can see that you're in.
Yeah.
And if you actually fuck with me, why would you want me to pay $500 to be on your mixtape when it's just some, especially nowadays, you don't even have to print up, you don't even have to make a physical copy or anything. All you're doing is putting up a playlist, some artwork, and putting it on the internet. You ain't putting it in any store. So you really mess with my work, why am I having to pay you? But you can see how some people would get excited about that and actually do it and pull the trigger. It reminds me of pay-to-play schemes back in the day where they would have a tour or something come through your city. They're charging you to get a slot, open up for these artists. You get like maybe 10, 15 minutes.
Yep.
And you're opening up for an artist who's obviously their fans are in the crowd. They don't know you from a can of paint. You might not even fit this other artist's profile or sound, and you paid to play on this concert or this tour or whatnot, and you might have received 1 or 2 fans. That, you know what I'm saying? And it's like you said, it's a clout type thing. Because if somebody says that I'm associated with this person, you paid to be associated with that person, and how true is that? Especially if it didn't really garner you anything. So I think it's kind of sad that happened. Wouldn't think that people would be in people's inboxes asking them for money, but I guess I've seen worse things from people.
I can dig it. And more, let me ask you a question. On this, is it realistic to say that an artist could be unaware of this and just somebody is doing this from their account? Is that far-fetched?
Look, somebody was out here and got $100,000 out of some poor lady and told her, I'm Bruno Mars, and like Bruno Mars needs your little funky $100,000, you know. So that was sad. But, you know, of course, look, there are a lot of artists who made all their money from touring, and they haven't been able to tour like some of these people, all their money stopped as soon as the pandemic hit. And so do I think some of it's legit? I mean, and when I say legit, is it the actual artist? Yes. Do I think that some of it is a scam perpetrated by a third party? Yes. Do I think some of it is going to be scams perpetrated by artists? Yes, because like I said, I mean, there are a lot of artists who are famous, but they're not rich. And so they still got to do what they got to do. And, you know, when I see specifically with the game, you know, let's just be honest, like this dude got a whole bunch of lawsuits that he's one of those cats that doesn't show up to court and he just gets a default judgment slapped on him. And one of them's for like, you know, $5 or $6 million for something that happened on some reality show.
These are facts.
And so I don't know. You know, if you can send something straight to his Cash App, that's probably a lot better than having to go through the normal channels of actually cutting a check and having to take it to the bank. You know, I just think that some of this is grimy. It's a reflection of the times that we're in right now. And you know, at this point, like, look, unless, and don't get me wrong, some of the names, it'd be one thing if the baby called and said, hey, I want to fight. Like a lot of these artists you mentioned, they're not going to get you on the radio. They're not going to get you on TV. Like they're legacy artists, and that's great. And, you know, of course, I love DMX. I love Redman, you know, but, you know, at this point, these aren't people inviting you to be on new hit records. You know, if somebody said, okay, I got $500, you know, come be on the next Megan Thee Stallion record, I'd be like, okay, $500 seems like a real deal. But you say
or top Spotify playlist or something like that. So that makes more sense. Yeah, $500
to get on, you know, the next Father MC record. I mean, like, you know, you should know that's a red flag right there. Nothing against Father MC, but you know, come on, man. Like what am I going? What is a Father MC gonna do for me as somebody who's trying to come up right now. And I just use that example as, because I really don't, but for real, like anybody who's had records. I mean, you don't even have to go back that far. If Smiles and South Star was like, yo, we need $500 on our new record, we got a compilation, that doesn't like $500. I'd be like,
you comparing the game.
You showing out now. Yeah, you showing out now.
Stay even. I'll even say somebody like Ja Rule. If Ja Rule hit you up and said, "Yo, I got new records coming out, and you could pay $500," like. There's not a radio programmer in America that's going to get excited about a new Ja Rule record.
That wouldn't be smart from a up and coming artist point of view either, to pay $500 to have 50 Cent drag you. Cool.
Yeah,
cool.
There you go.
I'm cool.
But even if it was say someone like 50 Cent. 50, like I said, nobody who works in radio is like, man,
50 got 3 hit shows on TV right now.
Like he's not thinking about music. Radio's not trying to play no new 50 Cent records.
I don't think these artists care about radio though. I don't think that's relevant.
Radio actually do got a new 50 Cent record on right now, and it's actually pretty good.
I don't think these artists care about that.
Who was that joint? What's the joint, Terry, that he got with the feature from the young kid on it that's cold? Where he driving around in the old.
He actually got two. He got 2 joints on the radio. He got the joint with Pop Smoke, and then he got another one on the radio right now too.
What's the joint with him riding around in the old school? It was for a soundtrack or something. It's got a young artist on it. I cannot call the name of this. The song is fire though. Like both of them got off. It's newer. Yeah, it's newer. Yeah. It's 50 Cent featuring somebody in the chat help me out. It's got what's my young boy name that redid the Tupac video? Was doing all the Tupac videos that redid those. Oh man, I can't call his name, man. It wasn't him. It wasn't him. Be a young boy, but I say that to say the record is cold.
No, I know you talking about. You talking about who?
Charlie Wilson. Yeah, Charlie Wilson,
guy from here produced.
Charlie Wilson.
NLE
Charlie Wilson.
NLE
Chopper. That song is cold. And NLE Chopper got off. That song is cold. So I don't know what else going on with Fifth musically, because I know he's an executive producer now. But that joint with NLE Chopper is cold. But I feel
because he's teaming with he's teaming with Pop Smoke and NLE Chopper. Those are top tier artists, whether you know them or not. This music is moving right now. But if if NCAA young boy from Iowa decides to get on and pay 50 Cent $500, the song is not going to do anything.
Oh, Jay Diff, get your man. He said Father MC. He said.
I think a bigger.
You were selling my guy short, man, with that Father MC shot.
Go ahead, Lone.
From an artist standpoint, I don't think the artists that are trying to get on these mixtapes are looking for radio play. I think they're looking for more exposure than they had.
Right.
And I think the even bigger point is that this isn't even going to give them that. Like it's like forget radio play. Like they're not even going to get more SoundCloud followers. You know what I mean? Like
I'd be trying to get on one of these playlists. That's what I'd be trying to get on. I'd be trying to get on one of these major playlists. That's the radio now. To me, the playlists are the radio now.
Can you name one playlist?
Rap Caviar is one of the biggest ones that's on Spotify.
Okay. Besides that one,
I have to pull it up because I don't listen to them. So, but I know them when I see them.
I think this model specifically, kind of getting back on topic a little bit, is very similar to the model that artists get scammed a little bit from, like leasing verses. I don't know if you've seen that as well.
Okay.
I think it's very similar to like leasing verses and or to be honest, leasing beats too. Like you don't end up owning anything. Like you don't own your own music. Like so.
And I
But,
pulled them. I pulled up a
that's
couple
another-
for you just for reference.
Oh, I'm not gonna listen to him. I don't care.
I know you're not. I'm just I'm just giving you
I
some
was
numbers.
I just wanted to see if you actually knew any. You know, like
I know Rap Caviar, 13,647,732 followers. Like if that was one of the playlists that you could get on based off
For
the
sure.
$500 holiday,
You're
that'll
not
make
getting on that playlist for $500. Trust and believe.
Exactly.
I
They
think
got one for. Hey, Lon, I'm sorry.
again. No, I mean, still though, even this conversation we're having about getting on playlists and stuff like that, like this is still like not good advice for artists. Like, screw all this shit. Build your own stuff up from scratch. Like that, there's no equivalency for like doing the work. Like you have to do the work. You have to do the work. You have to
There's
do
no
it.
shortcut. That's the problem. Everybody thinks there's a shortcut to
You
fast forward
have
your
to do
career.
it. You have to do the work.
If you see
Lon is
kids
right
coming
there.
up, if you see kids coming up and they see an opportunity to where I can spend $500 my song on a national artist release, then to them that sounds like a gold mine. They hit gold. So imagine how many people I swindled out of their $500
Right.
they start seeing that all their friends was talking about they got the same message that you got.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because you might have felt special for 24 to 48 hours, or as soon as that fucking PayPal payment went through, it was a wrap.
And one of your guys was like, "Oh man, you working with Father MC too, huh?" You know what I'm saying? And then it don't feel as special anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, because everyone had $500 to get on, so and so's record.
Yeah, Father
Yeah.
MC though.
And 𝐶AA young boy, man, you on one tonight, Jay Morris.
if you've enjoyed this segment of the New Old Heads podcast, make sure to join our live show every Tuesday from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/newoldheads. And we invite you to join our hip hop community on Discord. Access it by going to newoldheads.com/community for talks on hip hop, sports, music, news, and everything else.